It's a good thing that I like my doctors and nurses at the cancer center because post-treatment, I'm still going to be seeing a lot of them.
I am a publisher, writer, editor, daughter, sister, auntie, dog mom, and many other things, including currently a cancer patient. But I am not a doctor or medical professional of any sort. What you are about to watch is an episode of my journey through cancer. I'm sharing my adventure with you in hopes that you'll find something here that's comforting and maybe even inspiring. This video is not intended to provide any sort of diagnosis or treatment plan. Please go talk with your doctor for professional medical advice.
The big news, the good news, is that overall, every day, I'm starting to feel a little better. So far, I've had one post-treatment checkup with my chemo oncologist and also with my radiation oncologist, and I've learned about a whole new range of side effects. So first, let's talk about UTIs, urinary tract infections. They're fairly common. 1 in 2 women will experience one during her lifetime, and 1 in 10 men will experience one in his lifetime. They're caused by bacteria in the urethra, and because women have shorter urethras than men do, we are more prone and susceptible to UTIs. And they can be caused by radiation therapy. They can also be caused by sitz baths. One of the methods that I employed during the whole painful peeing period were sitz baths, lukewarm water and domoboro medicated soak. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's DOMEBORO medicated soak. Once a day at least. And, they were a real relief. But as Sting says, I never saw no miracle of science that didn't go from a blessing to a curse. Real relief, but also likely easier for bacteria to cause my UTI. My UTI is now under control thanks to a round of antibiotics. Did I have reservations about taking antibiotics, especially given reports of overuse of antibiotics? Yeah, I did. In fact, there are specific reports that antibiotics are being overused and therefore no longer reliably effective against UTIs. I've linked one from the Harvard Health Publishing below. But self-interest, I was dealing with all sorts of side effects and a UTI, yeast infection, others that I will talk about in this video, and I was desperate for some relief, and I got it thanks to the antibiotics. Yeast infections. Yeast infection is caused when the healthy yeast in your body grows out of control. This happens when the natural balance of yeast is thrown off. And for those of us who receive pelvic radiation, the radiation can throw off the balance of the yeast. And my balance is in the process of being restored through the use of oral antifungals. The restoration, however, seems to be taking forever. And I said this to the nurse practitioner in my chemo oncologist's office, and she recommended I try a clotrimazole, clotrimazole, to speed the process along. And I was a bit trepidatious about trying it because every freaking thing I've tried for some relief besides calendula cream has burned like a mother. But again, desperation. So I tried it, and I'm happy to report that it is helping in a significant way. My next stop after the oncologist's office was the chemo room to get my port flushed. My port was installed in July to facilitate the administration of chemo drugs. It's right here, and I will have it for 3 more months or 3 more years, depending on whether my oncologists think we'll have further use of it. Meantime, the port has to be flushed every 4 to 6 weeks with heparin, which is an anticoagulant, to keep it from getting blocked. The port was helpful this time too, because at this visit, it spared me a second poke. I needed to have labs done, so they drew blood right from the port at the same time it was flushed, so that was a plus. Generally, I don't mind the port. Actually, I forget about it until I'm in the shower and I bump it while I'm washing, or I'm in bed and I turn over and I feel it pull a little bit. It doesn't mean I can't wait for it to be gone. In the last few weeks, however, I had noticed that it seemed to have popped, meaning that it looked and felt much more obtrusive than it had when I first got it. And I was worried something was wrong with it. But according to the nurse who flushed my port, it isn't unusual for a port to become much more prominent with weight loss. And I did lose 14 pounds in the last few weeks, so that explains the increase in the size of the port. The radiation oncologist, as well as the chemo oncologist, needed lab work this week because, as it turns out, I have 2 more side effects that I'm experiencing. One is a lymphedema in my right leg, and lymphedema is a swelling that can occur when there's a blockage in the lymphatic system, and that happens because of radiation therapy. For me, my right leg looked like petunia pigs. I also needed to have a sonogram on this visit because my oncologist was concerned that there might be a blood clot in the same leg. And blood clots, of course, are caused by radiation. Well, there is a blood clot. But it's a superficial one, not a DVT, as I had been concerned about. And it's behind my knee. I've been told to treat this by keeping the leg elevated and putting hot compresses on the area where the blood clot is located. And of course, I've been doing that. So the problems seem to be resolving, which is great news. And we'll have more tests at my next visit to monitor them. Fun never ends. So sometimes you have to make your own fun. Well, I promised you in an earlier video a trip to the Choke and Puke diner. Let's go.
I promised you a trip to the Choke and Puke. And now we have arrived. Well, this is a lovely surprise.
as diners go, the choke and puke is pretty good. But that wasn't the only source of fun. We also went to the Amish Market, which is located in an old school building, and it's only open on Fridays. That t-shirt makes me miss my blue California bubble a lot. But we did end up buying some of the most delicious cider I've ever tasted and have gone through a gallon in about a day and a half. So my next checkup, which is a week away, on a Friday, we will be stopping by the Amish Market again to pick up more cider. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Also, don't forget to call your senators and your congresspeople to demand universal health care, and most importantly, don't forget to vote.